Hello and welcome back to the Puncher's Chance podcast, and welcome to our second preview show of the week. We're hopping across the pond, not literally, we're still in the same studio, but unfortunately...
Got me excited then.
Yeah,
I thought
we didn't
were
have
off
that
to
in the
Vegas.
budget, but we're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios, I suppose I should say it the other way around, as respect to the champ, and then obviously Claressa Shields' fight as well. Just two of our favourite people in the ring, so looking forward to this one. Let's start off with Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia, because it's a bit of a conversation, I think, to be had as whether it should be Ryan Garcia that stood opposite him, or actually whether it should be Manny Pacquiao that's the man with the title around his waist, which is a mental thing to say.
It is, and I think this just goes back to boxing being all about the name. The value of your name in boxing can get you an awful long way. And it can be said for any sport, really. If you've got the big name and a bit of a backing behind you, then you can, that fast tracks you all the way to world honours and all. And I feel like Ryan Garcia's had that a little bit. He's got 2 losses. He's coming off back-to-back losses. I'm calling that no contest against Devin Haney a loss because he cheated.
Yeah, fair. I back it.
He looked really uninspiring in his last performance. I want to say that was in Times Square.
Yeah, against Romero. Yeah.
One of our favourite fighters on the podcast. And then he's getting himself a world title fight. If you go anywhere else in the world, or, for example, if you have a fighter that hasn't got the name value of Ryan Garcia, they lose a world title fight, you don't see him fighting for a world title in a space of 3-4 years. They go a bit under the radar, and you would have thought that's what Ryan Garcia would have happened to him, but it didn't in the end, and he's managed to land himself a fight against a world champion that in his last performance looked a guy that again wasn't very inspiring and had a very much inspired Manny Pacquiao in the opposite corner to him that nearly beat him and should have beaten him. If Manny Pacquiao perhaps had... It's mental to say this because Manny Pacquiao should be nowhere near fighting for world championships. If Manny Pacquiao had that extra 10%, even 5%, he could have been a world champion.
Yeah, I think there's a world in which you could probably give him the decision anyway. So an extra 5 or 10%, and it's a guaranteed decision. To go back to the whole Ryan Garcia thing, I think there's a couple problems with it. And without trying to sound too much like a stuck record again, we kind of covered this on the last one. The WBC, they like a commercial champion. And I think what you said is fair. If you are commercially viable, it's going to open doors which make your life easier. We can't deny that. But to actively promote that as opposed to merit, for have your world champion system, what seems to be not a meritocracy, but a popularity contest to a point is frustrating to see. And like you say, Rolly Romero beat Ryan Garcia. In the fight before that, Ryan Garcia, like you said, he cheated there was a weird exhibition fight in the middle, but he cheated. and you look at the likes of Liam Cameron, took 5 years out for a cocaine test. Joseph Parker has been out for how long after failing a cocaine test and still hasn't been given a decision on how long, if, what, where his ban is. Ryan Garcia blatantly cheated, had absolutely no attempt to hide it, came in egregiously overweight, all of that sort of stuff. And like you say, he's being rewarded with an opportunity. And I think it's a fight. If you take all the noise around it out, it's quite an interesting little matchup. As a single 12-rounder, it's quite fun to watch, but you can't really ignore the kind of the rubbish surrounding it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's the WBC all over again. It's a shame that Benn isn't with us this week because I'm sure he would say quite openly and passionately that he despises the WBC and everything they do. But what are they doing? There's kids growing up wanting to be world champions, and they'll probably be looking at this fight going, he's fighting for a world championship. This is what he did. He cheat. He did this. He did that. He acts like this, and he's fighting for a world championship. This is what I have to do to become a world. It's not right, is it? And the thing at the end of the day is the WBC is all about the views, is about the name of their world champion. As long as it's the biggest possible name holding that green belt, that's all they care about.
And to be fair to them, to a point, people want the WBC title because it's the most prestigious. It's seen as the most prestigious. And part of the reason it's seen as the most prestigious is because often the shiny star of the division is the WBC champion. But so from that point of view, I can kind of understand the way they do it. But off the back of, like you say, essentially 2 losses,
but he hasn't won.
It's hard to see why he justifies that position.
Warrington Wood earlier in the week. Their first fight was in 2023 now.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia hasn't won a fight since December 2023. I think that was against Oscar Duarte. I could be wrong there.
Yeah, the knockout, yeah.
But how can you... It's been over 2 years and he's coming back in and fighting for a world championship. It is ludicrous at the end of the day, really.
A little bit, yeah.
Listen, we're talking about it like we're not going to watch it. We're going to watch it because it is a decent matchup. And as much as it pains me to say it, I do see Ryan Garcia winning the fight. But he shouldn't be nowhere near it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with the WBC. You talk about it being the sort of marquee belt. I think at the moment, it's probably the belt that is the most talked about, but it isn't the most talked about because of how prestigious it is. It's the one that's talked about the most for how ridiculous it is for fighters to fight for it. We've seen it with Shakur Stevenson the other week. We've seen it with Terence Crawford. We're now seeing this sort of fight where they're rewarding a fighter.
And not to mention, obviously, the fact that they gave Pacquiao a world title shot off the back of retirement, which was daft. Yeah, it's...
They're not helping themselves, are they?
We have to admit, if you went to every boxer or boxing fan, said, which world title do you want to win? Chances are they'll say the WBC, they might say the Ring Magazine, but generally it's the WBC belt. So they kind of have that power. But like you say, just make the fights that are best for boxing and best for the boxers, not necessarily the most commercial ones. But hey, I'll watch it. It'll be entertaining. I don't want it to detract from the fact that this is, to be fair, an absolute belter of a card. You've got Gary Antuanne Russell versus Andy Hiraoka, which I think gets the WBA title on the line. Obviously, it's not on BoxRec, but great fight.
Yeah.
Andy Hiraoka is a quality fighter. Gary Antuanne Russell, they're talking about as the kind of problem man of that division that's going to disrupt the champions. Great fight. Richardson Hitchins versus Oscar Duarte, you mentioned.
That's my fight that I'm looking forward to the most.
Really great fight. I love Richardson Hitchins.
Evenly matched. Both fighters fighting each other at the right time. Richardson still with Matchroom, or is he left Matchroom?
I think he's left Matchroom. I think he left it after his last
He may
fight.
be a free agent this weekend, but yeah, he's a very exciting fighter, and he's someone that he's on the verge, I think. And I think fighting this sort of fighter in Duarte, is kind of telling me that Richardson Hitchins is now sort of waiting for that next opportunity of world honours.
Well, he's got the IBF off the Liam Parrow win.
Exactly, but what I mean is he's waiting for an opportunity now for unifications and all that.
I think so,
moving forward. Frank Martin, I think...
See, I actually... just to jump back to that,
Is it a tough fight for him?
Duarte is a world level fighter. I don't know if he's, we've spoken about this a lot, but he's not a world champion in the same way. So I do expect him to win it. Absolutely. But if that sets up a fight with someone like Gary Antuanne Russell as a unification fight at super lightweight, then yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great fight, I think.
100%. And then Frank Martin as well. I'm trying to think
he got knocked out by Tank Davis.
And that was quite vicious, wasn't it?
He was good. But up to that point, he was doing a good job on the scorecards, I think, against Davis. He's a quality fighter. So yeah, he's good to see him. But that Gary Antuanne Russell Hiraoka fight I think is my sort of main event. That's the fight I'm really looking forward to. We've talked for pretty much as long as this podcast has existed about Hiraoka getting that world title opportunity at the very top.
24-0, 19 knockouts.
He's a big puncher. He's quite a rangy lightweight, I want to say. Super lightweight this is, yeah. Correct. He's quite a rangy fighter. Yeah. So technically very sharp. Obviously, he's got that kind of Japanese style. And I believe he's of Ghanaian heritage as well. So he's got this real sort of combination of... sort of that Japanese, that technical prowess, but also he's quite physically strong, quite rangy in a way. Obviously, a lot of the Japanese fighters aren't. So very exciting, really exciting fighter. And equally, if Gary Antuanne Russell beats him in emphatic fashion, then that projects him to being a great fighter as well.
And I'm trying to work out with DAZN as well, with this being a Ring Magazine card, are we paying for this card? No, is it?
Yeah, it'll be on the old Ring Pass, Ring...
What's your thoughts on this with the Ring and pay-per-views? They're quite consistent with it.
Yeah, do you want me to be a little bit... I sold out a little bit from what we've said on the podcast. We've been quite anti...
pay-per-view.
Paying for stuff.
We've been quite openly about it as well.
I paid for DAZN Ultimate. I'm currently repping DAZN Ultimate.
How much is that setting you back? Don't tell me you rang up again and had James on the phone.
Yeah, I know. My good mate James, I think, has probably been sacked or something because he doesn't pick up the phone anymore. No, I think it's only like £3-4 a month extra.
And you get the pay-per-views
on top of DAZN, and you get the pay-per-views with it.
Oh.
And I kind of forgot I had it until I saw a thing on Twitter being like, how come this fight's a pay-per-view? Because I gave you the login for a fight that I'm not paying for that.
No.
But it's actually worked out quite well. To give them credit, I'm quite happy with it.
Okay, how was it? I was hoping this conversation would go a different way.
No, I'm just fishing for sponsorship. No, I'm joking. No, it is very. It generally, for me, I already think the DAZN subscription as a standalone has become really poor value. So if I was going to pay the DAZN subscription, I think it's worth getting DAZN Ultimate. For me, that's what for my financial situation. This is not financial advice.
They're not paying us for you to say this, so I wasn't hoping you were going to say that. They can
if they want.
You could buy the pay-per-view or do what I'm going to do and message Sam on Sunday morning. Can I have your logins, please?
Yeah.
No, I think the card's good. The Ring Magazine cards have always got that sort of depth in them, and they seem to be coming thick and fast.
Yeah, this is a pay-per-view card. Like I can see, this is the fight that you go,
But the last one was a pay-per-view card easily as well.
World title fights.
It's just when you get a Queensberry show and you have Wardley Parker as the main event, the one fight that everyone wants to watch. And then the undercard is the sort of undercard that you see in your local small hall. See,
if I were you, I'd have gone onto my banking app and registered myself as being scammed for that payment of £20 you made.
£25.
£25? Christ alive.
Yep. And that night, just to add salt to the wound, I paid for Tom Aspinall, Cyril Garner as well.
Oh, yeah. And that was great, famously. That famously went well.
Yeah, it went incredibly well.
Put your eyes out halfway through that Wardley Parker card as well. So
yeah, no. Well, to be honest with you, I did enjoy watching it, but I think that's me enjoying watching it because of how much I paid for it.
Yeah.
But like you said, this weekend, we always talk about catching up on fights the following day. This could be the sort of card where you're staying up because, especially in the main event, Ryan Garcia is an exciting character. He's a character the boxing needs. Do I think that should warrant him world title fights? No.
Yeah.
But he brings eyeballs to the sport, needed eyeballs, especially in America as well, where boxing at the moment isn't thriving as it used to back in the day. I just think I'm going to pay for it, obviously, but there's times where you go with American boxing, is it
worth my while?
Exactly. What's coming next? What's the next sort of big name that is going to make me stay up late at night and watch him in the early hours? And I think there doesn't seem to be anyone coming through, and you have these characters in American boxing. You don't have good fighters, you have characters. And I feel like that's American sport all around.
Yeah,
really.
Maybe. I do think that this card has the depth that's worth staying up for because there's stuff to entertain you from midnight onwards, for example, rather genuinely you're waiting.
Well, you're not going to be lonely this Saturday night. So
it's true. Yeah. Generally, you're waiting till 4 a.m. and to sort of to watch it. But this one, you've got the likes of Mo Alakil, who's been fun to watch. Joshua Edwards, a nice young, I think he's relatively young American heavyweight coming off the Olympics team. Lots of stoppages. Great nickname, the Rocket from Houston, as we were talking about before this. So
hopefully he hasn't got any problems this week.
Lots of interest there. We've got the AliExpress Amari Jones on the undercard as well.
That just went over his head then.
What's that?
Yeah, don't worry.
I was just setting up for my next bit. Yeah, okay. We've crossed over there.
Yeah, we did.
What did you say?
Hopefully he hasn't got any problems.
Houston.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
I like it. Sorry, I ruined that for you. I really did.
Wow. I said that to him before we started filming as well, and he said, save it for the podcast.
Whoop, pocket in the pocket. You rushed it.
I did. I'm too excited. I didn't
got a bit carried away.
The cameraman behind the camera didn't give me my cue.
It's right. Next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Not paying him this week.
Yeah, Frank Martin, great fight. Richardson Hitchins, Gary Antuanne Russell. Like we mentioned, there's depth in this card that's worth, for us, staying up for.
For boxing purists, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know if this one's on the Boxing News app for predictions? Nope. Did you see? They are slacking. We'll have to do that old style as well. But we'll predict that at the end and talk a little bit more. But we've got our good friend, Claressa Shields, defending her undisputed heavyweight title against the same opponent for which she made her debut against. What do we make of that? It's a hard one to talk about, isn't it?
I can't believe that we're talking about it. She's meant to be, she's the biggest American female boxer at the moment, I think. The biggest name in female boxing in America.
Comfortably, yeah. I think she's probably the biggest name in female boxing, full stop. I think that's probably fair.
But is that for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons?
Possibly not. Okay.
The thing is, why are we talking about a fighter that doesn't even know we exist anymore?
Well, she knows we exist. For those who don't know, and maybe you haven't been on the channel, we've alluded to it a couple of times. I, God forbid, suggested that I thought Katie Taylor was the greatest female boxer of all time after her second and third win, I think, against Amanda Serrano. I suggested that. And
get a lovely message off her.
And I was very respectful in saying, I rate Claressa Shields.
She called you something, Lil Hater Boy.
Lil Hater Boy. Yeah. She
Sam has got that tattooed on him somewhere now as well.
Yeah, there's a tramp stamp at the back. I was called Lil Hater Boy. I was blocked for that opinion. And I think it's a shame because I genuinely do think she is number 2 in the world. She's the second best female fighter. But I just think for all the reasons I've said before, the fact that she's now fighting at heavyweight, where there is 12 female heavyweights in the world, which means all but 2 people in your division count as a world title defense. You could be fighting the 3rd worst person in your division, and it counts as a voluntary
and all
for the undisputed defense. And that's unnecessary. It's not proving anything. It's easy work, it's easy money, it's easy publicity, but it's not proving anything. If you genuinely have a want and a will to go out there and say, I am the greatest female fighter of all time, here's why, you can't be rematching the person you fought on your debut for an undisputed heavyweight title. You've got to be getting back down towards middleweight, super welterweight, fighting the likes of Michaela Meyer, fighting the likes of Lauren Price.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I
think with them fights now, though, I think they got to be at catchweights now. In
probably.
The future. And
I
do see them happening because I think, listen, Claressa Shields, she's a fantastic fighter and all. It's all about legacy now. She's done everything that she's probably wanted to achieve in the sport. It's all about making sure that she cements herself as that number 2 women of all time fighter. But that's coming down in weight now. I think, and the longer she stays at heavyweight, the harder that thing comes down, that jump to come back down weight becomes.
I think. Well, I don't think it'd be too hard because I don't think she is anywhere near a natural heavyweight anyway. But I think, for me, she believes that she is already what she has achieved with the 2 gold medals, which, by the way, is unbelievable. Fair play to her. And the wins that she's had, that she is the best female fighter of all time. And so now she just kind of needs to supplement that. And if that's the way you believe, then fair enough. She's doing that thing. But if it was genuinely about chasing legacy, you maybe move up and win the heavyweight title just to say, undisputed heavyweight title, just to say you can.
How many weights is that?
But then you're getting on the next speed train back down to middleweight. And like you say, you're fighting those fights at catch weights possibly. So if those fights do happen, and I will put my heart on the line to be made looked after. If Claressa Shields beats Lauren Price, she is the greatest female fighter of all time. I think I'd be willing to say that at that point.
The thing is, though, if that fight did get made, though, you would have to interview Claressa Shields as well.
I would, yeah. But equally, she then, by doing that, would have to be willing for the kind of the hype machine that she's created as the greatest female fighter of all time to be shattered if she lost that fight. And that's where I take, if you genuinely are the greatest, you're not worried about that going away because you're the greatest. No one can beat you. So, I think, if Claressa Shields and her team go and make one of those 2 fights and she wins that fight, then, fair play to her. There's absolutely a conversation to be had.
Does she get through this on Sunday night? It's on a Sunday night as well.
Of course she does. Yeah. It's the same fighter she beat in her debut, comfortably in her debut. The other opponent was fighting on her debut as well, so they both made their debut on the same night. Claressa Shields beat her as a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, has gone on to have a mightily impressive career on paper.
I tell you what,
but
we're talking about...
There's no good win since Savannah Marshall, essentially.
Very true. Very, very true. Didn't she fight... I'm trying to think of... Has she been an MMA fighter? Or
what Savannah Marshall did.
Yeah,
and
Savannah
Claressa
Marshall
Shields did, I believe.
I was about to say, them two were meant to meet in the cage at one point.
They were, yeah.
PFL or something. But one of the fights I'm looking forward to this weekend, Emmanuel Navarrete against Eduardo Nunes.
Next weekend.
Sugar
weekend
Nunes.
After next, I thought.
Is it?
28th, I thought.
Oh my God, I've got my weekends mixed up.
You're getting excited again. Yeah, you're rushing it.
No.
You need to just slow it down a bit. Never mind. We'll
forget about that then.
Park that one. Pop it in the pocket, River.
Like you did that joke I just made.
Like you did the joke.
Terrible.
Wait for the right time to come around.
I'm just No, you know why I've done that? Because I'm not looking forward to covering Wales in the Six Nations this weekend.
Fair enough.
So I just want to.
That's fair enough.
Already head to next weekend when they have a weekend off.
The weekend off. I understand that.
My bad.
We'll stop the talk on Claressa Shields. It's not a hate watch. It's a disappointment watch. It's like your parents when you were a kid. You know, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. That's how I feel about Claressa Shields.
But that's even worse, I think.
I hope so. So let's have a look at the predictions on this one. We won't go throughout the whole card because I think there's some fairly gimmies. Mo Alakia, I expect to probably get another points decision win.
Yep.
Josh Edwards is probably in line to get another stoppage. Frank Martin, you would expect to get a points decision win, I think. Possibly a stoppage.
Points decision, yeah, Frank Martin. I'm liking the way he's rebuilding since that Shavonte Davis fight as well.
Richardson Hitchins, Oscar Duarte. Obviously, Duarte was stopped, I believe, by Ryan Garcia, knocked out.
Yep.
Richardson Hitchins carries a lot of power. Do you think the same's going to happen again?
No, points decision win for Hitchins.
Yeah. I like it. I'm going for a Hitchins stoppage.
Okay.
That one. Mario, actually, sorry, let's come down slightly low on the card.
Yeah, that just says a lot about the fight.
Antuanne Russell, Andy Hiraoka. Yeah. Where does your prediction go for that one? Russell obviously has the one loss on his record against Alberto Puello, I believe.
Hiraoka, points decision.
I think the same thing, actually.
I'm
back in Hiraoka. Although I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's been he's been a couple years out the ring. And he made reasonably hard work of Ishmael Barroso, who's obviously a boxing relic at this point, back in the back end of 2024. Yeah. So, you know, that's
but it still says a lot, mine, that his fight is ranked higher than Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia.
This is an unbelievably hard fight to come straight out of. To come straight out of your what, a 2 year and a half hiatus, 18 months to come straight into a fight against someone like Antuanne Russell.
2024 September. So it's been some time.
Long way out. But yeah, I'm back in it. But I absolutely Antuanne Russell could win this one. That's a tough one to call. And the Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia. You've kind of thrown the gauntlet out there.
I've already given my prediction a bit earlier.
Justify it. Ryan
Garcia gets a points decision. I think he's the better boxer. Simple as. As much as I don't really like him, I think he's a lot better than Mario Barrios. And if you're basing it off their last two performances, Mario Barrios against Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao that hadn't fought in years struggled. He's going to struggle again on Saturday night, I feel. And I think Ryan Garcia could get the stoppage, but I'm going to go safe and I'm going to say he's going to get a points decision win.
I think to be Mario Barrios and to come into a world title defense off the back of back-to-back draws, it's not a great look as a champion. And I think Ryan Garcia will beat him. And I actually weirdly hope Ryan Garcia beats him, because I think there would be nothing funnier than an Austrian versus Egg derby.
Oh, wow.
You know,
here we go.
Stick it on the main event of the...
now we're on to something. This is where boxing comes fun.
You know, because I think, you know, they're both
cheats. Allegedly cheating.
Yeah. Does it count as defamation if neither of us said the whole sentence? I think we're clear on that one. I don't know. I think that works.
Have we beaten the system?
We just finish each other's sentences. Then you've never said it. I haven't said anything. I just said one word.
The thing is, when we're both in court.
We'll have to finish each other's sentence there as well. Yes, Your
Highness. Honor. No.
I think that would be a fun fight. The build up, the back and forth. Yeah. They'd also...
He's there as well in Vegas, mine.
He will be.
Are we talking about Conor Benn as well?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think having that, because it'd be quite funny. They both wouldn't be able to call the other one a cheat, because
I wonder how they're going to do that.
It would be kind of self-implicated by doing so. So they're kind of both under that. They'll have to like shake their hand and make a truce of either we both did it or neither of us did it.
They both know each other's levels.
Yeah, which one are we leaning into?
Is that Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be quite fun.
Do you reckon? Well, if Ryan Garcia wins, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Conor Benn gets it straight in that ring, gets on the mic.
Oh yeah, and he's
he
made
was in
big
the
talk.
ring on the last ring card with Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, and he's made big talk of wanting the WBC title in the past. And I think funnily enough, when it was Barrios, we said, actually, there's a world where Conor Benn could win a world title. Yeah. I don't know if I can't see Conor Benn beating Ryan Garcia. I do think Ryan Garcia's too good for him. But it'd be a fun fight to watch nonetheless. Even if the action in the ring wasn't great, the action outside the ring would be justifiable for the ends. But then are we being hypocrites because we are calling for the very thing that we criticised at the start? So
it's what makes boxing though, innit?
Yeah,
bring it on. Bring it. Can you?
Bring on
eggs being thrown? Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be on something there.
Maybe. If you're listening, ring matchmakers, give us a ring.
10%, please.
Start off low. Start higher and work your way down.
Okay, sorry. 100%.
We'll talk about that later. If you guys like the sound of that or looking forward to the fight, let us know how you guys think it's going to finish. And actually, do you know what? Let us know as well. Am I way off it with Claressa Shields? Am I too harsh, or do you guys have a similar opinion? I'd be interested to see. We've got more and more fans, I think, coming over to the channel from Stateside, which I love. Yeah. I'm happy for that. Welcome. But let me know if I'm being a bit harsh. Let me know
the
how
thing
I
is, I think they could agree with you, mine.
I think I don't think I've been unfair.
No, I think she's a sort of fighter that some people like, some people don't like.
I also think maybe a fighter that's got the ability isn't necessarily always proving it because the opponents aren't such, and that's kind of the. Anyway, we won't get back into that one again. I'm sure Ben's already found 4 or 5 shorts to make me look bad.
Make sure to tag her, Ben, if you're listening.
If you like the sound of all of that, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.
Punches chance. Punches Chance Podcast.